Now let's look at string functions. We already see one string function, which is the concatenation, which is two pipes. This pipe is the key that is above the slash. In in normal keyboard, it should be the one on top of the backslash. So this is concatenation. And then we also have a length, upper, lower. I think these are pretty straightforward. So straightforward. And position means where each substring locates at inside a larger string. And then replace, of course, you know what it means. Replace the part of the word, the character or the charts, or replace the whole. And trim is removing the blank space and tabs in front and at the end of the string. Then substring, you get the substring of that string. Then you have the left field words characters and the right field characters. So let's take a look here. We have the string functions. We have concatenation, which first we are going to run this. You will see that Luke Skywalker from Tatooine. And by the way, the default column, the default width of this column may not always be desirable. So a lot of times you do need to expand the result a bit. And this is concatenation. It should be straightforward. As you can see, these are two pipes, right? Two pipes. Now, how about length? What's the size of Luke Skywalker? I didn't count it, but I assume it's 14, right? And then upper, of course, we're already seeing that before. You get Luke Skywalker. Again, you need to expand it. And lower will convert everything to lowercase. Now we have a position. Luke Skywalker, where is the uppercase S located in? It's in the 6th character. And if you count, the first one is 1, the second one is L is 1, U is 2, so on and so forth. And the capital S is in 6th position. But how about lowercase s? Lowercase s is not in this name. You got a 0, right? So when you get a 0, when you get the non-zero value, that means you found this character inside the position, inside the varchar string, the char string. If you get a 0, it means not there. And by the way, this is not only limiting to single character. You can have more, like if you are looking for sky. The return is also 6. It's sky starts at 6. 6 is position. So this is position. And now replace. How about replacing Skywalker with Starkiller? Just a FYI, this is trivia. In the early drafts of the original Star Wars movie, Luke Skywalker's name was actually Luke Starkiller. So this is an interesting to know fact. But now let's run this replacement and just try to get the original name of Luke Skywalker. Now we see Luke Starkiller. Right, okay, and also substring. What's the substring of student name from position 1 to with 4 characters? That's LUKE. It started at position 1 with 4 characters, this substring. And then you also have select. You get look S, the left 6 characters. So there are two observations here. First of all, what if you put a left of 4 characters? You're actually getting the same as substring 1 to 4, right? 1 with 4 characters, right? So this tells us that there are actually always multiple, a lot of times you have multiple ways of resolving it. Resolving the same question and achieve the same result. You don't necessarily need to only stick on one. You feel free to explore all options. This is one. And the two is, how do you know what this means? For example, you have a 1 and a 4 here in the substring definition. How do you know 1 is the starting position? How do you know 4 is the number of characters? And the answer is you have to go to the manual to check that. You have to Google it and go check the definition. There's really no way to remember all these. Every time you need to know, you just go to a manual to check that. But at the same time, you can see that how important this is. You can you can foresee that this other DBMS should have similar functions, even with a different name or different order of parameters. They should have similar functions with a similar functionality, right? So what you need to know really is how you can combine these functions together with other SQL features to achieve what you need to do, which is in most times it's how you manipulate data, right? When you do your data analysis, how do you manipulate data? How do you get information from the data? A string is usually one of the most important columns in any data set. How do you break this up? Substring can be extremely useful, and replace can also be extremely useful in a lot of data processing scenarios. As long as you remember these two functions, there are these two functions, and you know where to use them. During even in the interview you are asked, you can politely say, "Oh, I don't remember all function definition, but I can definitely write down what is required and how to achieve what is required in these functions." You need the function, you need the function name, you need the varchar column, you need the starting position and the number of charts. That's what you need for replacement, for a substring, right? And for replacement, you have the original string, you have the substring to be replaced, and the string that used to replace the substring. These are the requirements for that function. And as long as you know these are required, I'm pretty sure you can give your interviewer a satisfactory answer. Okay, so these are two charts, and we also have two charts. You want to convert student DOB date of birth into YYYYMMDD. And also for the same student DOB, what if I want to convert that to month DD and the YYY? There are also two things to note here. First of all, if you put MM, that gives you the numerical value of 0, 1. But if you put MON, this gives you the month abbreviation, JAN, right? Jan 01. So this is how you can write different ways, how you can use this format to control the output of the same value. Remember, we said that before, that the date times stored in the database as a standard format. But how you display that, it's up to you. First of all, by default, it's up to your client, your client's locale. Then once you are using a SQL function, then whatever you submit, whatever you describe in the format string will be the format that it takes, right? So this is one. And the second thing is, you can clearly see that the format is above and beyond your locale, right? So your locale may be using, like mine, actually it uses the US format by default, but now I can output as an international format. So this is how you can get around with the locale and the time zone issue. Now, we are not going to talk about time zone. We are not going to run examples of time zone here, because we have an international audience, and whatever I show may get you confused because you have a different time zone. But it's similar. your time zone, the default time zone, or the time zone you described in your function when you use this, when you use the different functions, is actually what shows up in client. For the same value, yours may be different from mine. For the same time spot stored in the database, for the same value stored in the database, your result may be different from mine because you are in a different time zone. Your locale may be different from mine, but or even if you change your definition, that may change, but that's fine because basically it's all determined by your locale, right? Okay, now let's see. Okay, I think this is about it for our string. And next we are going to talk about date functions.